Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour, Week 6 Ultimate Guide. We're going to be going through the rankings, the injury news and impact, and our top streamers. We'll be right back.
The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Jauan and AJ Applegarth.
Touchdown! All right. Welcome, Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. Like I said before, we're here recording now. So if you were looking for the show live, I put it out on Twitter earlier today that we are no longer doing live, at least for the rest of this season. Going to be recording Wednesday nights and putting them out late night Wednesday, so you can check them out then. Check it out Thursday, Friday, whenever you get around to it. But we will be around. We will still do Q&A. If you get your questions in on our Discord or DM, not DM, but respond to the tweet that I'll put out, or Corey will put out on Twitter. You can ask your questions there, and we'll ask them here on the show. And you can tune back in and check it out. But yeah, my name's Jauan, founder of FantasySixpack.net. We got AJ and Corey here, and yeah, we're just gonna jump right into things here, and got a new little interesting format for it. We got some slides to help out here. Let's bring that up. I don't have it presented, so before we do that, all right, first time doing this in a while, so excuse me for the slow here, but all right, we got it.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, we've done this a few times, so hopefully I'll remember to actually change the slide. If I don't remember, just yell at me. I'm really good at forgetting all of that. So, all right, let's jump right into it here. So we've got running back starting here, and so what I've done here on the screen is shown everybody that I am lower on than ECR. So just read through a couple names here. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm one below. It's only like one or two in a lot of places, but Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm one below. James Cook, I'm two. Javonte Williams, one. Kreisky Merritt, one. Cam Scatterboo, one. Could probably go a little lower on Scatterboo now that Tracy's out or back in. Kenneth Walker, one. David Montgomery, -2. Kamara, -1. Pacheco, 2, and the list goes on. So AJ and Corey, I will let you guys have the floor. You guys can ask me whatever you want.
All right, Corey, you want to take the rolling?
Well, it's only one spot, but I guess I just want to ask about Javonte Williams. You still have him as a top 10 back, so clearly startable, but it's weird to see him down one against Carolina's, let's just say, less than stellar defense, to be nice here, to see him below consensus. But just somebody you had a little higher, or a little worried that someone's going to take the workload? What's up with that?
There is somebody who I do have a couple spots higher that probably push him down the one spot there. Actually a couple of guys, and just kind of shuffling around. It's matchup based for those guys, and I'm sure we'll get to them as well. It's also it's how much are they going to need to use Javonte in this kind of game? That could just go off as well. Javonte's been really, really good, and one of the better stories of the season for sure. The fact that we're talking about him even as a top 10 back is pretty surprising at this point in the season. He was going super late, but yeah, look, he's still startable. It's still a top 12 back. But I'm just one spot below. This is Wednesday. It's a little early. Things will shuffle around. Could I slide him up to like 7, 8, 9? Sure. That wouldn't surprise me at all come Sunday. But right now, I do have him slotted in at 10.
Javonte Williams, 3 top 5 finishes already this season in 5 weeks. That's
unreal.
Awesome.
That is crazy. I only have him. I think it's Scott Fish is the only one I have him, but he's been killing it for me there because the point system is like bonkers, and all he does is put up massive points.
Dude, so I traded. So funny story about Javonte for me. A little sidebar here. I traded for Javonte Williams in a dynasty league. I think it was the year he tore his ACL. So I traded for him that year, tore his ACL, and I'm like, oh, great. Now I'm sitting on like damaged goods. And he was bad for so long, so nobody wants him, right, in my league. And so I'm just hanging on to him forever. And that's what it is. So who just did that? You just pressed the wrong button.
That would be me.
So like, what just happened? But yeah, so now I feel like it's one of those things. Like if I start falling out of it, and right now I'm kind of hovering around playoff. I feel like he's the ultimate must-sell player, right, in Dynasty.
Take advantage of it while you got him. Sometimes the best trades you make are the ones that don't like the best trades you make are the ones that you don't make, where you wanted to sell him low, now just reap the rewards for a while here. Javonte's still really young. Javonte's
I know
25.
I know.
It feels like he's been around forever. 25
because he has.
So yeah, I don't know. But it's good to see, man.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna stick with this one, or we want to switch it over to the.
There you go.
I just switched. So I guess we're switching.
Yeah.
So I switched over here to, I'm going to say just because I know not everybody watches, some people do listen. So I switched over here to the guys that I'm a little higher on. Josh Jacobs, I'm 1+ going against Cincinnati. Achane was one I was alluding to, Corey, where I slid him a couple spots over. Kyron was 1 as well. Playing that Baltimore defense that's just been gashed by everybody, man. Rashad White's a couple spots higher for me. I like Swift going against Washington. Shockingly, that's another one where I guess I could go the other way on that one too. Washington's run defense has been okay. Jaylen Warren, hoping he comes back. Sounds like he will. Got him +2, even against a tough Cleveland defense. Tony Pollard +1. I like the Haskins and Vidal a little bit better than everybody else. Way down there, though, here's a fun one. Tyrone Tracy, I'm +38. Not everybody's caught up to the fact. Not ECR has not caught up to the fact that he's returned. That's what that is. So take that with a grain of salt. I do not actually like him 38 spots higher than ECR. It's that some people still have him ranked like 80th. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, of the list here, I think I want to talk about Warren actually. Division game, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland this week. You got him at +2. So what do you like about Warren coming into this game?
Yeah, I mean, hesitation, right, is expected. I wouldn't love it if I started him. He is a back-end RB2 for a reason. Cleveland's defense is top-notch. The thing you like about him, though, is that with everybody that he is in front of, right, in my rankings, he is pretty much locked into a boatload work than the rest of them. I'm talking David Montgomery obviously takes a backseat to Gibbs. Tony Pollard is getting work, but I think we're going to start seeing that slip now with Spears back, and we did see his snap share drop this past week already with Spears back. Kamara has been going in the opposite direction for quite some time. Stevenson, Mr. Fumble. So there you go. Like those guys, I don't have the confidence that they're going to see the workload to stay ahead of Warren. And that's really what keeps him up there. The matchup is horrible. So I get it if you don't want to play him. And hopefully you've got a bunch of these guys that are ahead of him to play instead. But I mean, that's where we are, especially with, a couple bye weeks, a couple teams on bye this week. So
no concerns about Kenneth Gainwell taking more work after how good he looked before the bye?
Not really. I think that coaching staff is so stubborn. I feel like they're just going to go back to what they wanted before. That's just what they do. It feels like, oh, something worked. Never mind. We're not going to go back to that. We're going to go do what we did that wasn't really working before. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's pop on over to the next position we got here, and that's receiver.
Yeah, so some guys here I am lower on with receivers. Drake London, -1. Devontae Adams, I'm 2 below. Garrett Wilson, I'm 3 below. Waddle, 2. Sutton, -1. Pittman, I'm -1. AJ Brown, I'm -1. Harrison, -2. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. That might go a lot farther here. Zay Flowers, -1. You could convince me to drop him even farther than that for sure. Ridley's -1. I got Jameson Williams, -3. And the list goes on there. I could read for a while, but I won't. You can check it out on the screen there. But what do you guys got?
I think we need to talk about Jameson Williams, who you have as borderline startable and even a 3-receiver league there at wide receiver 34. And you just said it, 3 below. And I think I have him in one team, and I don't want to play him. You don't want to play him at all. It's so erratic at this point. The targets were there a couple weeks ago. We didn't catch anything. And then last week they rolled up around 50 points. I don't remember exactly what they scored. And he had 1 catch. Very frustrating player, Jameson Williams is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said it before the season. I love Jameson Williams' skill set. I love, he's an electric player, but we see it all the time from players like this. They're just so boom bust, man. And he is not clicking right now with that offense. And they're not getting the ball. Tesla is not like really the reason why, but it's enough of a reason why that, reducing his targets. And, look, I remember talking to the Detroit Lions beat reporter, and I asked him specifically, like, what is going, like, we know this offense is Gibbs and we know this offense is Amon-Ra, right? Is there enough to go around to keep Jameson Williams and Laporta and David Montgomery consistently good? And his answer was flat out no. It's like there will be, like, one will have a game, and then the next one will have their game, and then the next one will have their game, and it's just going to rotate. And right now, honestly, Jameson Williams has not had his game yet, even at all. So I don't know when it's coming, and I just don't feel like it's going to happen against Kansas City for sure. I remember Dave Eddy during the Kings Classic just chirping in my ear constantly, "We're going to take Jameson, right? We're going to take Jameson." And I'm like, no, like, he's going to be so like he's just going to give me a headache every single week. Like, when are we going to know to start him? You just don't. That's the problem with guys like him.
Well, remember Deshaun Jackson? That was the same.
Yes.
With him. That is the exact same way that Jameson Williams is.
I was going to say that, so I'm glad you did.
Like 3 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown, or 1 catch for 9. Like, it's very frustrating. So,
or 3 for 25. Yeah. Like, he'll still catch his 3, but it's for nothing.
Yep.
All right. Want me to move on, AJ? Or you got something? You are muted.
Yeah, sorry. I said my Jackson jersey upstairs feels very attacked right now, but we will leave that.
That's all right. You will always have that incredible game against the then Redskins on Monday Night Football that
there's that, and then there is the miracle at the Meadowlands Part 2. Actually, his is Part 3. Punt return for a touchdown. Right up the middle. I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah. His, I think, was the most recent, and then Westbrook was before him. I can't remember the first one.
Can I ask you guys? I'm looking at my own rankings here, right? And I'm looking at like AJ Brown and Marvin Harrison, and I want to ask about this. And AJ, your thoughts specifically, because Philly fan here. It seems like the Eagles are realizing they have to pass a little bit more, right? I think they realize they're getting 8 men in the box constantly to stop this run game. And so they realize they had to pass. And so last week we finally got Devonta Smith, breakout game, right? A lot of people are like, oh, but AJ Brown still didn't do anything. He did have Surtain on him the entire game. So, like, I do think that does play a factor. He still caught 5 for, I forget the yardage. But do you think that with the Eagles now being forced to pass is essentially what's happening, that AJ Brown's season is going to turn around from this point forward?
I'm hopeful that it will. There was apparently a middle minor team meeting with Saquon, Jalen, and AJ this week. I didn't really get many details on exactly what was going on, what they were talking about, but from what I gathered, Saquon was the one who brought them together and was probably just like, look, enough is enough. Either punch each other in the nuts and let's move on, or hash it out with words. I don't care which, but he's awesome. Saquon is just such a like change of pace. But yeah, I do think that this will help. I mean, like I said, I'm hopeful it will, but I do think it's going to. We're going to start seeing some more through the air attack with Philly. And part of the reason for that is because the O-line is just decimated right now, and the run game is just not happening. So they need to figure out how to pass the ball. And if it's running little crosses, little short outs with Goddard, like he does screens, all the time last year, and he was phenomenal at it. So I just want to see them obviously excel, but last week they had a lead and blew it. So yeah, it's hard to watch, but I think this little powwow is an interesting, marker, especially tomorrow. It's the Giants, so it's not like a, super hard test, but they've got a good defensive line. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them breaking through early and fairly often, honestly. So I don't know. I guess it's TBD, but I think it's going to trend up.
Yeah. And then, Corey, I know get your thoughts here on Harrison real quick. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of his still compared to others. I know he kind of had the mini breakout in the second half a couple weeks ago, but last week right back to the same old, where it's just super, just pretty disappointing. Still got double-digit fantasy points, I believe, in PPR leagues, but it was mostly off of like the first play of the game where he caught like a 50-yard bomb and got tackled at the 1. Had he scored, like everybody, we're not saying anything, but like it was still just one play. It was a fantastic catch. But I mean, I'm watching it now, and like the more I look at it, like I don't really know if it is Harrison anymore. I think Kyler is just so erratic.
Yeah, I think I'm not a Marvin Harrison guy anymore. I think he's extremely talented. I think if you drop Marvin Harrison in like the Rams, he would be amazing. I think it is a combination of Kyler Murray, and I think their play calling is atrocious. I think the Arizona Cardinals do he had 3 catches, I think, on the first 2 drives in that game and had 1 the rest of the game. You were leading in that game. I get it. You wanted to run the clock out with Michael Carter and Bam Knight and whatever, and you ended up losing to the Titans. Throw the ball to your best player. Like, just get him the ball, and you can say Trey McBride's the best player, whatever. Like, just get the ball to him and Trey McBride. And I've said that many times. That's my frustration with the Cardinals and Marvin Harrison. And like, you're going to start him if you have him, but he should not be as erratic as he is. That's the problem. Like,
funny enough is I actually sat him last week in my home league because I was like, screw it. I played somebody else and I think it actually worked, but
yeah. I did. Harrison or Murray?
I didn't use Harrison.
Oh, okay. I didn't use Murray. I don't think I've used him more than twice this season so far.
Well, I have
in all the places that I own him.
You guys know in the Fantasy Six Pack OG League, man, I have rid myself of all the Cardinals off my team. I've traded Murray and I've traded Harrison. I am gone. I have moved on. It took me giving up a couple pretty good players to do it. I got some pieces back that I really needed. A really good tight end. I got Jaden Daniels out of it. I got some guys that had some upside. I think I've got the depth to get through maybe a little mini rough patch here while some guys figure it out, like Henderson. But I think once it gets going, I'm going to be full steam ahead. But it was so terrible watching the Arizona.
It's frustrating to watch them. Week. It is frustrating to watch a team that has a legitimate top 5 tight end, what should be a good quarterback in Kyler Murray, a should be good receiver in Marvin Harrison, And yeah, they've had a bunch of injuries to running back or whatever, but like everybody's getting hurt, and that team just they need a change at the top. Like, head coach, offensive coordinator, like let's restart some of this. But I don't know if that's
Murray doesn't even run anymore, which is weird. Like that was the thing. I was like, oh, like if I miss on all the other guys, I'll just take Murray later and just be fine with it. He'll get me 50 yards, 40 yards rushing here and there. He's not even doing that. So it's like, who cares? All right. I just thought that was interesting. I just saw them on the list here. Just wanted to ask questions. So moving over here to the receivers that I like. Ibuka is on the top. I got him number 4 overall, +1. I got Jamar Chase +1, still there in the top 10. Pickens, Debo +1 as well. Moving Worthy up there. McMillan, I like playing that Dallas defense. Quentin Johnston +1 here. Diggs, who I was able to snag in that trade as well yesterday, +2. Metcalf, Brian Thomas Jr., Olave, Moore, Shakir, all +1. And then I've got all the way at the bottom here, now bottom, but I only go through the top 38. Kendrick Bourne +10. And I think that has a lot to do with, I think not everybody's catching up to the fact that Ricky Pearsall is very unlikely to play this week.
Yeah. I was going to look here at Diggs. Huge revenge game if you want.
A little bit, yeah.
I watched a lot of that game, and man, he was on fire. No touchdowns, still at 10 for 146.
Yeah.
Okay. The interesting, yeah. I mean, he was, and this week he's going up against New Orleans. Sorry.
Yep.
Now they're pretty good against receivers, but they have given up an average of 144 points through weeks 1 through 4. Now last week was kind of a stinker with the Giants, but again, it's the Giants. And last week was the only week that they didn't give up a touchdown. So do you think Diggs is going to, break the plane this week with a score, or is he, is he going to still put up good yards?
I don't even know if it matters, man. Like if you look at the last 2 weeks for the Patriots, it's weird. Diggs is only on the field for about 55% of the snaps, but he's seeing 43% of the target share in these last 2 weeks. The next highest is Hunter Henry and Butte with 14. I mean, he's literally the only guy that Drake May is throwing to at this point. So, and I don't really see that changing at this point. I think Diggs is going to start seeing more snaps on the field. 43% target share might be a lot to ask for the rest of the season, but could he keep it like 34%? Absolutely. I do think that it's viable for him. I mean, the rest of the receivers, we've been saying this for years, leaves a lot to be desired. Butte, Douglas, Mac Hollins. They got the rookie Kyle Williams, who isn't doing anything right now. Hunter Henry is like the only other guy there that I like at the pass catcher, but he's a tight end, boom bust guy. He has his moments, but he's not moving the needle, right? Like a Stephon Diggs can, like we saw on Monday night, or was that Sunday night? Sorry, I don't remember.
No, Sunday night.
Sorry. So
that's okay. I want to talk about a guy for Monday night anyways here, and that would be, you have Xavier Worthy as a top 12 wide receiver. I don't think he's been in the top 12 yet. 14 and 16. I don't know. It seems high, but I get it. Kansas City is playing against against the Lions in what should be a high scoring game, but he's got 6 catches for 42 and 5 for 83 in his 2 weeks back. The rushing attempts on top of it are always nice. I love a scheme touch. But I was surprised to see him as a top 12 wide receiver there.
Yeah, I think you're expecting a pretty high scoring game here. Is really what gives him a boost there. And Worthy is getting more and more healthy, so you expect more to go his way. I think he is coming off the field a decent bit right now, just because he's coming back from the injury, and this past week, right? He had the ankle, So that was, another thing. I do remember watching him coming off the game, coming off the field a couple of times after big plays too. It was like, oh man, just keep him in there. He's rolling. His ankle, and they just wanted to keep him healthy, keep him out there the whole game. So hopefully, as he moves forward, getting healthier, right? That's what we expect. Then, we'll get more going his way. He's clearly the biggest playmaker on that team. And they got to go to him and Kelsey. He opens up the door for Kelsey too, more than anybody else. So I think they've got to utilize that.
Yeah, I get it. Can we talk about? I just want to know, since you don't have him on here, you have Quentin Johnson at 15. Where do you have Ladd at? Do you have your full rankings up there?
I do.
This is what everybody wrote Ladd off last week. He showed up and looked awesome again.
Yeah, kind of. The Chargers offense looked pretty good for the first quarter and a half, and then it was like, oh, they don't want to play anymore.
That's called chartering.
It's fine. It was fine with me. The Commanders pulled off a road victory that I did not think was happening. Ladd, I've got him down at number 24 right now.
Wide receiver 2. It's still good.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly right now it's, that's because of matchup. If this was a tougher matchup, you probably drop him just because he still really is the third target on that team. Unfortunately, Keenan Allen's up there at 20 for me. So
cool. Tight ends.
All right. Tight ends here. Hunter Henry. This is all a bunch of negative ones, really. Hunter Henry, Dalton Cade, Njoku, Fannin, Tonjes, which could drop like a rock, honestly. But it doesn't sound like he will. It sounds like maybe more next week. We're going to see Kittle back. Ingram, Loveland, Konkwu, all these guys, all negative ones, really. A bunch of guys down at the very bottom. They kind of move around a lot, but you're not starting them. So what you guys got?
How about the two Cleveland guys there, 12 and 16, both of them down a spot. So apparently you're just a hater on all Cleveland tight ends. I don't disagree for what it's worth. Like all Cleveland pass catchers are a little, what's the word, erratic, I guess.
Yeah, I think the Njoku, and there's a reason why, you guys saw it in the fantasy six-pack league, right? So I traded for Tyler Warren. I had Ingram and Njoku on my team. I had to pick which I wanted to keep at least one of them, right? I kept Njoku because I was like, look, Ingram, we've seen him with Bo Nix, and in this offense, it's just not working. The offense is changing for Cleveland, so I wanted to see maybe if we would get a rookie passing to his tight end, and it absolutely happened. So, both of these guys, I think Njoku is going to be startable going forward. You don't love it though. The offense is still going to struggle. He got in the end zone. He led the team in targets. But you just still don't really feel good about that Cleveland offense. Fannin has been seeing a dip slowly as the season has gone on since that amazing week 1. Still enough involved that if you need a streamer or if you're in a deeper league, that he's very usable. This week against Pittsburgh is okay. They don't have the greatest defense, but they're not bottom of the barrel either. So
okay,
yeah. All right. Well, we can flip it over to the guys you like more. Starting at the top, you got Laporta +1 at KC, Kelsey right behind him, +1 as well. Pitts +1, Theo Johnson +1. Basically a string of +1s.
Yeah, I mean, it's
+2, Tremble +2. You got. And that's kind of basically what you're looking at. I mean, the Michael Mayer one, I'm guessing that's if Bowers is out.
Yeah, both him and Albert Okwuegbunam, or whatever how to pronounce his last name. Good luck with that one.
Okonkwo.
That is not a
no.
That is not
Alberto. Just say Alberto.
I thought I'd have fun with it, just so we could get a laugh. You're welcome. I do it for the fans.
I knew how to say that name 2 years ago.
I know. I was like, I feel like we practiced.
That's why I was like, it's Okonkwo. I was like, Wait, there's not that many
No,
K's there.
no, I know how to
do it.
pronounce that one. Not
Yeah.
this one.
All right. Well, the one I want to ask about is your 27th rank tight end.
Why?
And that's Taysom Hill, because of the name value. You got him +1.
You hate
okay,
me,
great.
don't you?
Not a big thing, but yeah, I mean, people picked him up, including me. I got him in
Thorn in
one
my
place.
side of Taysom Hill.
I did not start him last week, but is he startable against New England?
I mean, he's number 27. He's not startable. Hill, in my opinion, is never startable. You're hoping and praying that he gets, one of those games where he gets, 4 carries inside the 5-yard line and scores twice.
Yeah.
Like that's what he needs. But this offense isn't good enough to get down there enough. So I don't know if it's going to matter. He ran like one route last week, ran the ball a couple of times. He's not going to be used enough right now. I'm sure that'll go up and just piss off Alvin Kamara and Kendrick Miller managers even more. But yeah, not startable.
That was more of a joke.
Please go
always
away.
a best ball. He's always somebody that you want to have like in a best ball league, I feel like. Because the big games can be there, but you're never going to feel good starting him in a
never
in a weekly
league.
Nope.
So
then again, I don't know if I feel good
one,
starting a lot of tight ends ever.
Yeah. The real one here is Kyle Pitts. You've got him at tight end 11 +1 versus Buffalo.
Kind of thought that one was coming.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the man.
Last week it was his best week of the season. Week 1 wasn't terrible. He had 8 targets, caught 7 of them. The yardage still really isn't there, aside from last week. I mean, what are you finally believing in Pitts?
No, but the tight end position has been terrible this year. So like if he's gonna see consistent enough targets like he is right now, I'm gonna put him above people like Mark Andrews who's dealing with Cooper Rush, right? Jauan Johnson, who has seen his workload drop consistently all year long. Like I'm not a Jauan Johnson fan right now. Like that's why he's 17. Yes, I like him more than ECR, but +1. Like okay. Theo Johnson's mildly interesting here, but he caught two red zone touchdowns last week. I don't know if we're going to be able to rely on that with Jackson Dart very, very much. So this is more of a just the landscape of the tight end position right now has just been bad. I mean, like if you really look at it, like even McBride is not playing all that great.
No touchdowns.
Jake Ferguson is your tight end 1 still, I believe. And it's like, that's kind of crazy. I don't know if anybody would have really guessed that coming into the season. I think we all sort of had hope that he was like a sleeper pick, but tight end 1, not really.
I just want to go back to when we talked about sleepers and I talked about Kyle Pitts and y'all made fun of me. So just saying. And here he is at least usable.
I still will never start him. Sorry.
Okay. On to quarterbacks.
Yes, finish off here. Quarterbacks, a little smaller of a list here, but so my negative ones: Jalen Hurts, Herbert, Prescott, Fields, Darnold, Young, Dart, Penix, and Cooper Rush.
Why do you hate Sam Darnold? He's the freaking man right now, dude. He's awesome.
Jacksonville's defense is legit, man. No, thank you. I'm so mad at myself. Remember, I was talking on the show last week. I had Jacksonville. I swooped in and picked them up. Was like, I know they're going against KC, but I had to drop the defense I had. I forget who it was. And I was like, I don't feel great starting it. And then they sit there and return an interception for 99 yards. And I was so mad at myself watching that happen because I dropped them for Seattle's defense. Who got destroyed at home to Tampa Bay.
I did the same. I've had Seattle's D, and cut that one.
I mean, they've been
And
good this year.
they have
Just-
been.
who-
They were, one of my like ski poles for defense with the Broncos. And
without Bucky,
just wasn't.
like I thought for
they
sure that
sucked.
was going to be a thing. But
Well,
going cross country, a lot of teams don't play well going cross country to Seattle.
No,
so
I mean, and it's a tough place to play in general. But when you're traveling that far, yeah, that even just adds to it. But yeah, I crushed myself by picking up New Orleans and then not starting them, and then having to grab the Chargers back. Yeah, that was terrible.
How did you pick up a defense and then forget to put them in your lineup? That's an AJ move that I will never figure out. But
because
anyway.
I didn't have one. I dropped the one that was in my starting spot. So in one of my leagues, it just automatically puts them in that spot. But whatever, it didn't happen. So I lost out on like 27 points or something.
All right. So the quarterbacks I like a little bit more: Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix. Sadly, Kyler Murray. I don't know about that one. Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and Joe Flacco. That one's probably a little bit of people don't have him ranked right now, so that's why he's +3. But he's number 29. Do not start Joe Flacco for whatever. Please do not start Joe Flacco. Anything here, guys?
I think you're too low on Mac Jones. I think you should be higher than that.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
all he's been is good every game. Not
I know.
QB9, QB15, QB10 in the 3 weeks he's played, and Tampa Bay just got lit up by Sam Darnold for 340 and 4. Like,
yeah,
if Mac Jones is starting
again, this one's at
good.
Tampa, so this time San Fran's going across country to Tampa, so that plays into it. I mean, I could slot him over like Jackson Dart. Bryce Young is a good matchup against Dallas this week, so I don't know if I would do that. There's a lot of interesting matchups here. I mean, I guess in reality, what you might do if I really wanted to go kind of bold and against the grain here would be flip Kyler Murray and Mac Jones at 16 and 20 and 21. I mean, like that might be the thing to do because Kyler Murray's just been atrocious, man. Indy's defense has been mostly good, so that might be something to kind of think about is drop Kyler Murray and move Mac Jones up. But yeah, again, that's why these are Wednesday rankings. These are very raw. The things kind of get massaged as the week goes, so just keep that in mind, everybody.
The one I was looking at here was Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix. I have really high hopes for him this year. He's been kind of up and down. Pretty decent week last week, but he's had multiple games with only one touchdown. Obviously his best game was against Cincinnati. That's why. So do you think that he can? I know you have him only at +1, but do you think he could crack the top 12 this week?
Looking at who's in front of him right now, it's tough, man. There's a lot of good matchups in front of him, and then obviously just you start getting into like the elite quarterbacks, right? So it's tough to put him over them. The only guy I think I would even remotely think about is like just swapping places with Daniel Jones, who's at 12. I'm not going to swap him with Stafford, who's getting Baltimore, who's just been just a sieve, defense. Jordan Love's getting Cincinnati. Caleb against Washington. That I feel like that game's going to be crazy. Dak at Carolina, Herbert at Miami. I mean, I like Baker this week +2, even though he's getting San Francisco. Baker's just proved that he's just a baller, man. Like, never count him out. He will figure it out. So I think the problem this week with Bo Nix is not that the matchup is bad. It's really not. Like, the Jets really aren't anything to be super scared about on defense. It's just that everybody else in front of him who has been playing fairly well have way better matchups is kind of what's happening.
My fear with Bo Nix to move him up would be they get up big on the Jets and then they just run the freaking ball because the Jets are real bad at football. The only team without a win. And so I could see Bo Nix being part of getting ahead early, but I could also see Bo Nix throws 2 touchdowns in the first half, and then the second half is a lot of J.K. Dobbins, and let's see what R.J. Harvey has here, and kind of go from there.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned R.J. Harvey. I've noticed a little trend with R.J. Harvey, and I wrote about it in the usage article that I put out on Fantasy Six Pack. He seems to really only get used when they are behind.
Interesting.
I
didn't notice that.
So, or I guess if they get up really big, which I guess could happen. So the game pretty much has to be out of hand. If it's competitive at all, they're just using Dobbins. So that's very interesting. So, all right, that is it for the rankings talk. I like the new format. We're gonna have to figure out how to cut down the time on this one, but new format, we're figuring it out. But let's jump over to the injury news here. And Corey, we're going to start with the big news of the week, and that is the unfortunate injury to Omarion Hampton, who was placed on injured reserve. We've got the tweet up here from Adam Schefter. They signed running back Kimani Vidal to the active roster from the practice squad, and brought back Naeem Hines to the practice squad. But Haskins or sounds like Vidal are the two guys here. Who do you like in the short term?
Oh, that's a good one. So there's very little indication as to where this is actually going to go. I think Haskins got the ball one more time last week, was not particularly better than Kimani Vidal. I think that we'll see. So Haskins has history with Jim Harbaugh from their time at Michigan. So I expect Haskins, the first and second down, kind of the pound back, the thunder back, or whatever you want to call it. Kimani Vidal's a better pass catcher. He's very undersized, better pass catcher. I think he's the third down back. I'm not expecting either one of them to be Omarion Hampton. I don't expect anything from Naeem Hines, who I don't believe has a carry since 2023. It was the last time he had a carry. So I added Haskins in a few spots. I'm kind of hoping for like Gus Edwards, the way Gus Edwards played in this offense at the beginning of last season. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not expecting a ton, but there's so many injuries at the running back position that I get it. Like 12 carries, 15 carries, 60, 70 yards. Vidal, I think you could play him too. Like 8 to 10-ish touches, probably a couple of receptions in there. I lean Haskins over Vidal, but I can be swayed on that.
Yeah, I do too. I don't love it. I mean, this week the only good thing is the matchup. So
yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right, moving on to the next item here, and that is Antonio Gibson now has a torn ACL. Is this finally like just the Rhamondre, car ramrod and Treveyon? I mean, what do you think is going to happen up here?
I think everybody wants it to be Treveyon. I want it to be Treveyon.
I do too now. I just traded for him.
There's no indication that it's going to be. Like it. I've been saying it since week 2. Any week now, we're going to get Treveyon Henderson, and it could be this week, but there's no indication. And they surely want to keep using what has become blatantly apparent is if they get inside the 10-yard line, Rhamondre Stevenson's coming in the game, and he is the one who's getting all these touches. So you got to rank. I don't have Joe's rankings up in front of me. I'm assuming he's got Rhamondre ahead of Treveyon. At this point, you have to the way it's going. But I like Joe traded for Treveyon Henderson. I get it. Now's the time to get him because any week now, I still think the talent's in there for him to be the guy who feels this role and takes over and looks great with it. But Rhamondre is the one that you want to start right now if you have them both.
I will say the only thing is, Henderson did see the bulk of the work. But yeah, you're right. Stevenson got the touchdown. It was, I don't know. And then of course, after the game, coach comes out saying, they've got to figure this out. They need him in there. And you're like, no, you don't. Stop it.
I just don't get how he keeps going to it with the fumbles. The fumbles are what's so irritating. Like, he keeps putting the ball on the ground and they just keep going to him. There's so many teams where if you fumble once, you're like terrified your guy's not going to get back in there. Rhamondre Stevenson just keeps getting chance after chance, which.
Yeah. Like, the only thing that's comparable to that is Derrick Henry, because he's Derrick Henry. But it's like the two of them are, I don't know what's going on with Henry. I mean, he's just
Derrick Henry
and
which one's greater than the
exactly.
other? I mean, yeah, right.
My point. It's
I know it is.
It's interesting that, obviously Henry's going to still get his run, but this is a much, much lesser player. So I don't know. It's dumbfounding to me. I just don't know.
Yeah. All right, jumping over here, and of course, the news that everybody was waiting for here is
Next.
Christian Watson returned from the pup, man. They designated him. How excited are you as a Packers fan, Corey?
Oh, it'll be a lovely 2 games before he re-enters something. I just can't wait for those.
Do you even care if he's on the field? Like, I don't know if I would.
The offense looks better always when he's out there because he is so fast that it forces defenses to play back. They don't really have a very much of a deep threat right now. Matthew Golden, I guess, could be, but they don't seem to be using him that way. We'll see. Maybe that gets better here coming off a bye. But like if you have a empty roster spot, something like that, throw it. He's probably a free agent in almost every league. Throw $1 on him or something like that if you want to take a chance on it, because we have seen him be good at times when he's been healthy, but that's been few and far in between.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it with the Packers receivers. It's so hard to figure out which one's going to be good. And my guess would not be Christian Watson for a while. And the only good thing right now is that Reed's out, so maybe that'll help him for sure. But
yeah,
I'm not. You don't feel confident about it. So, all right. Next up, AJ.
Okay, so we've got the 49ers. With 4 people injured, it seems like. Brock Purdy, Jauan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, we already talked about a little earlier. George Kittle is still out.
Should be back in week 7, they're saying.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got another week, and then hopefully he's back. But I don't know, TBD. So what are we doing here?
So Joe mentioned it when we were talking about Mac Jones. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to play this week. I think we'll get Mac Jones this week. Pearsall has yet to practice this week. I feel pretty confident, like 85% he is not playing this week. Jauan Jennings practiced on Tuesday and then didn't practice today. So I think it's more likely he plays than Pearsall. But I also think that even if he does play, he'll be limited. We've seen he came back one other time and then he missed the next game too. So I think even if he plays, I don't expect full snap share. And I think Kittle's out again. So Kendrick Bourne again, Joe had him considerably higher on his rankings there. That was one guy he had just outside, I think, the top 36. But we saw last week when there's nothing else there, like someone's got to step up, and it's been Kendrick Bourne. As long as at least 2 of them are out, I think you fire them up. And I think we're going to get Pearsall and Kittle out again. And even if Jauan Jennings plays, I expect limits. So I think you can fire up Kendrick Bourne. I'm fine firing up Mac Jones. And if you have to play him in a single quarterback league, you don't want to. In any 2 quarterback league, absolutely fire him up. And we'll ride it until we get some of these guys back. I think Pearsall and Kittle and Brock Purdy next week, there's a very good chance for Kittle and Purdy, and then Pearsall. They've been so cagey about what his injury actually is. They just say knee. They never say, is it a tear? Is it a sprain? They have been very this is the team that told me that for 10 weeks last season that Christian McCaffrey was close to coming back and he didn't come back. So I'm just a little worried about Ricky Pearsall's knee.
Yeah, 49ers are real good at being vague about injuries.
They're like the Astros of football.
Yeah,
Jordan Alvarez has a slightly sprained hand. Oh wait, his hand is broke. Oh man,
who knew that?
Oh.
Extreme gasp across Houston.
Yeah, dude,
it's absurd.
Who knows? All right, we get to talk some Thursday night football.
Yeah,
That's what's good about moving the show to Wednesday night. Giants running back Tyrone Tracy looked like he is coming back. No injury designation, good to go. Unfortunately, Darius Slayton with the hamstring is officially ruled out. I just want to say, by the way, that Darius Slayton was the leading receiver until he got hurt through that game. So, yeah, I told you so. Sorry, Corey. Tyrone Tracy, though. Yeah. Tyrone Tracy, though, like Scatterboo has been amazing. Do we think this goes to like a 50-50 split? Is this did Tyrone Tracy just get done to him what he did to Singletary last year?
I don't. So here's what they should do. And it's Brian Dable, so should and will happen are two completely separate things, but they have no receivers. Tyrone Tracy was a collegiate wide receiver at Purdue that they turned into a running back for 1 year and said, you're going to play running back. And he's pretty good at it. They should split. Those two should be on the field. If Tyrone Tracy's good to go, which considering he has no injury designation, I'm assuming he is, they should.
Oh, man. AJ's bored.
Oh, man.
Oh,
It's just so good every time. So good.
They should both be on the field, though. Like, both Tyrone Tracy and Cab Scatterboo are arguably two of their three best offensive players right now. I think I would say that. And so I would put them both out there and see what can happen. If you have to play Tyrone Tracy right away this week because of the injuries at running back, I think it's fine. Scatterboo should, if they just use them like traditional running backs, it should be 70-30 Scatterboo at this point.
Let me ask you. So I have to decide. I know my rankings say Tracy or Haskins.
Tracy in full PPR, Haskins in half.
All right.
That's my thought on that. And then Slayton out. I don't know if you can use. I don't know what you to make of Wandale at all. If you can use him or not. They're back to using him for the completely worthless short routes. And Jackson Dart's so prone to pull the ball down and run, which is awesome for fantasy. But I don't think you really want to use Wandale. I think you could use Theo Johnson before you could use Wandale, just because tight end's worse, and he seems to be more of the target for Jackson Dart. So I would probably prefer Theo Johnson over Wandale as far as the pass catcher goes, and I don't really want to play any of them. But if you have to, Theo over Wandale and no other receivers.
All right.
Or just all the Eagles.
All the Eagles. Every Eagle. Right down to Jahan Dotson.
That's right. That's right. All right. So,
all right.
Speaking of
trade
Super
of
Bowl,
the year.
Super Bowl champions, Joe Flaccolicious is traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati across the state, and now he's starting. I mean that was quick.
Bam.
How'd you like to be Jake Browning? Just be like, yeah, he has literally no experience in the offense, but now we're gonna go with him over.
I mean,
yeah.
You saw me in the Discord, the Fantasy Expect Discord on Sunday. I'm going like, who is the Bengals backup? They've got to start somebody. Like they've got to get Browning out of this game. He is awful right now, and he salvages the game in garbage time. But like, and everybody was like, we don't know who his backup is. I looked it up, and it was Brett Ripien, who then is no longer on the team because they traded for Flacco. So, okay. Apparently they didn't really like him.
Shocking that he
was
didn't
there
play
as
him
like
when
an
Jake
emergency
Browning was
quarterback, I
playing.
guess.
No way. As far as what does it mean? You're not going to play Joe Flacco. I think it's basically an even thing for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I don't really know if it changes a whole lot. When Jake Browning's been good, it's because he understood that he has Jamar Chase on the one side and just throw him the ball 15 times. And I think Flacco can understand that, just throw the ball. T. Higgins he's been so disappointing. I can explain it away, unlike with some of these other disappointing receivers. At least you can explain it away. Maybe Flacco will get him going a bit more. So if you have to start him, I think it's fine. But again, you just want to play Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins is a borderline start at this point until we see something.
I just don't understand how, like, they don't try to go get somebody who can move around in the pocket, like roll out something. Like they got they went from
Flacco's going to get killed back there too.
Right. I mean,
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Browning has to be able to move a little bit more than Flacco can. Flacco's literally just going to be a statue, a sitting duck back there, getting absolutely just teed off on by defenses. Like, I don't know how this one's. I don't know what they're thinking here. Like, this could not have been the best move. It has to be anybody on like a practice squad or anything that can come in and like run some sort of offense here that they can. Again, they got to be able to move the pocket around, I feel like, and they're just stubborn. Oh, head coach is being stubborn. Go figure. And they're not going to do that. So there we go. So.
Play the Packers defense. Even though Joe Flacco beat him 2 weeks ago.
So the bigger question here, I think, is how long is it going to be until Joe Flacco goes to Pittsburgh and then has played for every team in the division?
Is Joe Flacco the only player in the NFL that's still older than Aaron Rodgers? I feel like that's got to be about it. There can't be many that are older than Rodgers other than Flacco. I'll Google this while you're talking.
I didn't even think Flacco was older than Rodgers, but
is he not? Oldest NFL player.
I don't know. I think he is.
I think he is.
I don't know.
Oldest.
He isn't. Aaron Rodgers is the oldest at 41. Mercedes Lewis and Matt Prater at 41.
There's kickers.
Nick Folk and Joe Flacco.
Well, yeah, that's true.
5 players in their kickers. 40s.
Oh my gosh, he is.
2 quarterbacks, 2 kickers, and a tight end. Wow. Well, he's got time then. He's got another year. So next year when Rodgers retires, they can bring in another new quarterback.
Yeah.
To go 7 and 9.
They're like, all right, let's
they'll
just
never
do this.
draft one to go for future. They're just gonna think they always have the Super Bowl window open. All right, let's move on here. Sad face for me. Tier. Brenton Strange, my ultimate tight end streamer, placed on injured reserve. Come on, man. He was good. Even the broadcast was like. He's been really good, and they, he unfortunately got injured in that game against Kansas City. Plays on injured reserve, out at least the next 4 games. I mean, I guess the only hope with this, we're not going after Hunter Long or whoever is going to be the back, like the actual tight end to play and run routes in that offense. Does this actually mean real targets are going to go Brian Thomas Jr.'s way? And like, it seemed like there's starting to be a little bit more of a connection there, but I don't know. I'm not feeling great about any of these Jags pass catchers.
I think he was the leading pass catcher for the Jags. If not, he was right up there. Targets haven't been the problem for Brian Thomas. It's just been a lack of actually quality targets, like 6, 7, 6, 12, 7. It's maybe not what we expected, but the targets have been there. It's just it's not been the productive targets that we were hoping for. Travis Hunter is on the field half the time. This is what why we told people, like, don't draft Travis Hunter really early. We don't really know. I think he's super talented. He made that amazing way downfield catch in double coverage. It's in there. But if you're on the field 30% of the time, sorry, I don't want to play you. He's getting dropped in leagues. So I think it's probably a slight uptick for Brian Thomas, but I also think it might just be they run the ball a lot more. They seem to want to run the ball, and it's working. They're 4-1. ETN looks awesome. Trust the defense too. So I don't, you don't want to play Hunter Long. Brian Thomas may be a slight uptick, but really I think it's just a lot of running on this team.
Yeah. I also said in the usage article that, you're looking at it and Brian Thomas Jr. is leading the team in targets and receptions. That's all good. That looks great. But they're spreading this ball around to a lot of different people, including ETN, who has 14 targets himself, or maybe 14 receptions. I forget which one it was. So there's just the ball's being spread around a lot. Now, Strange was one of those top receivers as well. So, maybe for a few weeks here, we get Brian Thomas Jr. going.
And then you get these pop-up games from guys like Parker Washington, right? Like, we've seen him have these good weeks. He got a touchdown.
They're scoring all the touchdowns. Yeah. That's the problem. Parker Washington and freaking De'Ami Brown are scoring the touchdowns. Yep. And that's what's like, they even ran a route to get Parker open in the end zone and they ran Brian Thomas Jr. underneath, and you're like, flip it. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm not an angry Brian Thomas Jr., and I swear.
That makes one of us.
All right, AJ. Next up.
All right. We already talked about him a little bit, and that's Mr. Kyler Murray. He will not practice today. Or did not practice today, I guess, technically. He's dealing with a foot injury. Do we care? Are we even still playing this guy?
I mean, Joe apparently isn't. He's a hater, but
I'm not either.
You're not either. I'm not. I think I have the only team I have Kyler on is a super flex, and I will be playing Kyler in that. But I don't think he's gonna. There's at least a 50-50 chance. Wednesday here we're talking. If he practices tomorrow, practices Friday, all good. But in that league where I just said I have him in a super flex league, I put Jacoby Brissett on my bench. I also have Lamar Jackson in that league and JJ McCarthy in that league. So when you start with those three and two of them are already hurt, I was playing Cooper Rush last week at one of the super flex spots. That did not work out well. I in a deeper league, put Jacoby Brissett on your bench just in case if you want to, like a super flex league. But I think it's 50-50 at this point whether or not Kyler's going to play. He came out for a little bit last week, but it was only a few plays and he came back in. But even if he does play, what is the thing that we were talking about? You want 50 rushing yards. Well, he hasn't been doing it much anyway, and now he has a foot injury. I don't expect many rushing yards at all from Kyler.
Can I say I actually because I don't want, and I just got rid of Kyler Murray and I don't have him anywhere anymore. I don't care. I'd rather have Brissett in there so that McBride and Harrison can just, Brissett's just I'm just going to throw the ball. I got nothing to lose type guy. And he's just going to chuck it downfield, right? Let's see it. Let's go. And just, I'd rather see that because Murray just doesn't take the chances and he's just plays it super safe and conservative. And it's just dude, throw the damn ball.
Well, we talked about it the other week, and it might have been off broadcast, but all he does is suck for 3 quarters, and then he just gets crazy fantasy points at the end of the game, and looks like he's got a decent outing. And it's
this past week was bad from the start. Outside of the first throw of the game that should have been a touchdown, and he got tackled at the 1, and then Kyler did absolutely nothing after that. So, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, a little rapid fire here to finish off the injury notes. And we've got, let me go back over here. Brock Bowers dealing with his injury. Darren Waller, Chris Godwin missed practice today. Alvin Kamara now day-to-day with an ankle injury. Just rip through these real quick.
I don't think Brock Bowers is going to play again. I think we're going to get another week out of him sitting on the bench. Waller, I'm not worried about. I think they're just being extremely slow with Waller coming off of his year off and missing the first couple weeks. He's like a top 10 tight end at this point. Godwin, the same thing. Not really worried he's not going to play this week. It's been disappointing the first couple weeks too, but he has gotten a lot of targets thrown to him. So we're good with that. I think if Godwin plays, which I think he will, you can go ahead and play him as a wide receiver 3. Kamara, day-to-day with an ankle. So he apparently hurt it in practice today. We'll have to see what goes on there. If Kamara's out, Kendrick Miller already got more carries than him last week. So you should make sure Kendrick Miller is not a free agent in your league. And if Kamara's out, then fire up Kendrick Miller as a RB2. You pray for the Rico Dowdle game, and if you don't get it, well, that's fine because that was an amazing one. But if you get the Michael Carter game, you'll be happy.
200 yards.
Yeah, if you get the
Stamp
Michael
it.
Carter,
Corey said it's happening.
Yeah, and
that's what I heard.
Clip it.
I will say
Clip it.
There was somebody that there's someone on the show that was really high on Dowdle last week. I don't remember. Oh, right, it was me.
Weren't we all
streamers?
Okay.
I think that's
speaking of streamers.
All right. Yes. Let's get into it here and start off with my quarterback streamer this week. That's Mr. Bryce Young. He is going up against Dallas. It's a home game for Carolina. Dallas is horrific against opposing quarterbacks. At the point system I'm looking at, they haven't given up less than 24 points to a quarterback. And that was against Jalen Hurts, who did not even have a passing touchdown. So since then, they've just been a complete sieve. They've given up a ton of touchdowns, 12 to be exact, and a ton of yards. So I think Young, this could be a really nice game for him to kind of just keep going with the experience, really, and just building upon what we thought we were going to solve, or what we thought we were going to see, since he's been in the league, and it just hasn't really come to fruition yet. But I think this could be a nice breakout game for him. He's getting a few carries and runs, nothing crazy there. So I wouldn't necessarily expect much out of that. He's gonna get touchdown though. He's gonna get at least one touchdown against this defense.
He might get Treveyon Sanders back too, so that'll be a boost. And Jalen Coker.
Yeah, that's true.
Bryce Young or Kyler Murray?
Bryce Young.
That's a tough one. They are close. They're probably a lot closer than they should be.
I will agree with that. All right. Next up, we have the running back position, or running backs position this week. And I'm going with the two-headed, small monster of Hassan, Haskins, and Kimani Vidal. I mean, these guys, obviously we talked about Omarion. One of these guys has to do something. They both had 5 carries last week, I believe. And no, sorry, Vidal only had 4. Idiot. This is going to be the ultimate running back by committee, though. That's all we have to look for at this one. But I think they're going to have value. Obviously, we know this is a run-heavy offense when they have good running backs, but we'll see what happens with these guys.
The 2 Chargers guys happen to be taking on the Miami Dolphins, the same Miami Dolphins that just gave up 200 yards rushing to Rico Dowdle. So back to the well for AJ. I don't blame him at all.
Yes.
I am playing Hassan Haskins in a couple spots this week too already. So I agree with that one.
Yeah. Miami is almost as bad as Dallas against quarterbacks.
I think Miami might be the worst team in the league. Straight up. Even though the Jets don't have a win, I think Miami might be the worst team in the league. They are terrible at just watch Tua with his concussion symptoms and the interior offensive line. The second the ball is snapped, they are basically in his lap because they're just getting instantly pushed back on him. They can't stop the run. It is a rough showing in Miami.
Yeah, it is. And did we say it on here about them playing better without Tyreek Hill?
I sent that in the group chat.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what I was thinking.
That hot take, they're better without Tyreek Hill because they don't force the ball to him so much. They were actually able to move the ball this week. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
That is a plus.
It was Carolina, so
yeah, that's also part of it. We'll see. The Chargers are a little tougher.
All right, next up here is the wide receiver. We've dropped this name a couple of times here already. That is Kendrick Bourne, rostered in only 18% of leagues so far. So no one's either paid attention to last week or is buying into it.
That's wild.
I don't know which is which, but it's hard to argue with Stephon Diggs performance of 10 for 142.
I have no idea.
Again, no
Bourne
touchdown.
is gone, and how do these leagues exist? I don't understand. Bourne long gone in all of my leagues.
Yeah,
all of these players outside of maybe Bryce Young, gone in all of my leagues. Just don't get it.
I don't know what to make of it. He has less receptions in the first 3 games that he played from week 2 to 4 than last week. and a whole hell lot of it less yards.
I mean, look, I'm not expecting 10 for 141 again, but
no,
I'm
not either.
That was a crazy game, but
6 for 75.
Yeah. Especially if he is the only healthy receiver, then yeah, slam dunk, man. That's an absolute monster of a receiver pick there. That's like the Rico Dowdell this week of last week, man.
I think it could be for sure. And the only other like receiving threat, I guess, if you can call him that, is Jake Tongs. So
yeah, he's been good.
He had a huge game last week, 7 for 41 and a touchdown on 11 targets. I mean, these are the two guys Mac Jones is like comfortable with. This is who he's looking at.
Well, there's this other guy named Christian McCaffrey who he throws the ball to a lot too. He's also.
He's all right.
He also gets the ball sometimes.
I hear he's injury prone, so I don't know.
That is true. Slightly injury prone, but not bad when he's out there. Not too shabby.
Yeah. Aside from the running back position is what I was getting at. But I talk about this a lot where it's, you get these backups coming in, these second, third string type guys, they're all playing together on second team practices and whatnot. So they're building those relationships already. And then all it takes is, stars to go down, and then the stars align for these guys and they get to show what they can do on the field.
Quick guess. How many catches Christian McCaffrey have already?
74.
That'd be awesome.
No.
They played 5 games.
They played 5 games.
I don't know.
18 is what I would go with.
34.
39.
Oh, that was
39 receptions. Only guys with more, Puka and Jake Ferguson. Yeah, you're closer. Look at that. He is 3rd in the league in catches already because they just throw him the ball constantly. That's what was possible until he gets hurt.
Yep.
Here's a guy who doesn't get the ball constantly at your tight end position, but when he catches him, man, does he make the most of it?
That's true. And this was an easy pick just based on name alone, and that's AJ Barner. He is going up at Jacksonville. Rostership is about 10%, and I missed the other ones. Bryce Young 19%, Kimani 19%, and Haskins is the highest so far at 48. Barner, I mean, he's been a bit of a barn burner this year. He's three very solid games and then 2 very bad, but he seems to be, getting targets. Not necessarily.
At least last week he did.
Yeah, 7 targets last year.
Last week was 7.
Keep doing that. Last week, 7 for 53. But I mean, 1, 2, 3 on 2 and 3 targets. I mean, he's not getting a ton of run, but I mean, it's tight end. You never know. Could strike fire. So, I mean, I like Tongas. He would have been my pick, but I think it's, I don't want to put two Niners there.
So remember we were talking about this before the show. So I think Theo Johnson is streamable as far as like eligible. So it's Fannin. You like Barner better than both of those?
I do like Theo, actually. I mean, I know it's hard to say because it's against
your
the
Eagles,
Birds.
Man.
What's that? I know, that's what I'm saying. But, I mean, he looked good last week. I had high hopes for him as soon as he came into the league, and he just really hasn't had a chance to really shine. And I think, him and the dart throw are starting to build. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I would definitely keep Theo as somebody to watch. And if he has another good game this week, you may want to jump on him next week at the waivers, if no one else is, really, just as a stash and see what happens.
Again, another guy who got picked up in every single one of my leagues already.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm already out. I can't do it in any of my leagues. I'm already out.
In most of mine too. But yeah, that's where I'm going. Why not? Name value, like I said.
Rank the AJs.
Well,
Brown,
right.
Dillon, and Barner. I want to know
What
if
is it?
I want to know if AJ Barner is ahead of AJ Dillon for you on the AJ ranking. I feel like AJ Brown is one, but now that AJ Dillon is an Eagle, does that bump him ahead of AJ Barner?
Barner's a bird. Is it a bird? Does that count?
Yeah. I want to say yes, but I believe Dillon was a major pain in the ass for the Hokies, so maybe not.
Yes, he was.
But yeah, I think so. Barner's third. We'll do that. But the third time's a charm, and this is the week for it, according to me. All right. Now, what everybody is excited for, and that is AJ's D of the week. We are going with the commies. This is your fault. You do know that.
For those of you not watching, Corey just chuckles in the background every time this segment comes on. I love it.
Phenomenal. I am here for a few reasons. Comedy is one of them. All right, yeah. So I'm going with Washington. Mostly, I know Chicago has been better the past couple weeks. The Bears against opposing defenses have been, pretty solid at not allowing a ton of points. 3 turnovers total, 7 sacks total. But on the bright side of that is in the 2 games that the Bears lost, Minnesota and Detroit, they had Caleb Williams had 6 sacks. So since then, he's only had 1. Granted, it's Dallas, without Micah, and it's Vegas. So harder competition. I think this is going to be a really good game. Actually, I think both teams have good firepower. Like I said, Caleb's won the last 2 games. I think he's kind of on a heater, but I think this could be the time that he gets put into the ground a lot. So I'm going with Washington. They are 23% rostered so far. So not much this week.
The Commanders do
not much D to choose from this week.
The Commanders are tied for 3rd with most sacks in the league, surprisingly. I don't know if anybody would have guessed that coming into the season. Yeah. So
what's the Raiders?
You gotta have plenty of sacks with the D. So
what did you say, Corey?
What's the Raiders roster ship? Anybody have the roster ships up? Raiders are the Titans this week, right? I said I would play anybody against the Titans. It worked last week. I will play anybody against the Titans. They play the Titans this week.
Raiders are 38.
I'd take the Raiders.
So
I don't dislike the commies, but I would take the Raiders. That'd be the one I'd want if they're available.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they haven't done a lot.
Did you see where they had to redo the scoring on? I think it was Yahoo, maybe it was Fantrax for the weird play that the Titans won on with the interception, the fumble interception touchdown thing. Apparently, they had to redo some of the scoring. So I think it was Yahoo I saw it on. Yeah. Tennessee's defense is credited with a touchdown. Arizona's defense will be charged with 16 points allowed instead of 22. And Lockett did not get a touchdown. They had to re-go through and redo apparently manually. So if you had Tyler Lockett, no offensive touchdown, and Tennessee's defense got a touchdown, even though technically their offense scored it. It's a wild play.
Because they were on defense at that point.
Well, because they went back.
It's a turnover, they are on defense at that point. That has happened before in the past. I do.
Yeah. I've had that before. I've had people lose their mind over it in my home league because they got screwed by it. And they're like, I don't understand this. I'm like, dude, you bitch every year about everything. Just stop. This is your new thing. Take it somewhere else.
The play that I remember screwing me big time in last year was, remember the play in the snow game where Josh Allen threw a pass to himself and he ran it and he caught it for a touchdown?
Yeah.
I was up and he had scored 15 points on one play. That was awesome. I lost on that and I believe I missed the playoffs on that. So yay.
I had Josh Allen last year for that game, And I remember like it happening, and I was like, how did I get credited for 2 touchdowns? And like I'm like, no, this fool for sure like not stand, and it did. I have no idea how that gets scored like that. That's about as wacky as a sack for 0 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I need you linemen to like stand perfectly like this. I'm going to chuck it at somebody else that's actually eligible downfield, but you're going to stick your head up, knock it in the air so I can catch it and then run it and then score. And
no, he passed it to somebody, and then it was like a hook and ladder with him.
Back to him,
He threw it to like Shakir or somebody, and then like Shakir like threw it to him because it was like the crazy snow game.
It was like a hook and ladder.
Shakir was like, "Here you go."
I remember
and Allen's running behind him like, "Give me the ball." It was like backyard football at its finest, man. It was pretty awesome to watch. But yeah, Corey. By the way, this one's for you this week.
I'm a child.
for you giggling at AJ's Big D joke. Always.
Every week.
I mean,
D of the week. All right. That's it for the show, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and good luck in week 6. We will be back next week, dropping our episode on Wednesday night again. So reminder on that one. So see you next time. Peace.
Go Birds.